Rob, let's get into it. I don't know, Rob, do we have the quote? Is there sound of Mahomes, or was this a written
I have the
interview?
quote. It was given to NFL Network's Jeff Darlington. I had the editing staff effort to find some sound. They could not find it, but I do have the quote you are referring to, Chris Broussard.
Okay, why don't you read it to us? This is from two-time MVP, two-time Super Bowl champion, pretty much very widely regarded as the best quarterback
Not
in
everybody.
the league. No, but widely regarded as the best quarterback in the league. That means there's a few exceptions, but very few. But anyway, here's Patrick Mahomes on being a villain.
That's right. Jeff Darlington asked him if he senses that he's become a villain to other fan bases, specifically in comparison to the Patriots and how they were considered villains during their run with Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. Patrick Mahomes, quote, I can definitely sense it. I never felt like that because I've never been like that in my entire life, but it's become a little bit funny. I don't want to say you enjoy it. I know the Patriots had that for a while. I hope we do it in a different way with a little bit more fun and personality. But as long as you keep winning, teams start to not like you, and I want to keep winning. So if that means some of the other teams, other fan bases aren't going to like me, I'll still try to have a smile on my face and not be a bad example. But I can be that villain for them if they need me to be.
The biggest non-story and fake narrative I've ever heard in NFL Super Bowl history.
Wow.
The Kansas City Chiefs are not the bad guys or villains. Can we stop? The Patriots had a lot of reasons why you didn't like them, okay? Starting with the cheating. Okay, Chris, can we start there?
That'll do it.
That'll do it. Where you want to cheat some fan bases? Ask the Raiders with the tuck rule, right? Rob G? That's why you hate the Patriots. They cheated. How about Bill Belichick? That's a rosy guy that you want to hang out with, or you think he's a cool guy? No. Aw shucks, Tom Brady. He's another guy make you want to throw up in your mouth.
Wow.
Just
Really?
the way, yeah, his phoniness.
That bad?
Yeah, it's
It
just
doesn't
phony.
make me want to throw up in my
All right,
mouth.
some people, not everybody, like you said, not everybody. But this notion that the Kansas City Chiefs are the bad guys. They got a coach in Andy Reid who lost so many big games people couldn't even count. They look at Andy Reid and they think he's a Pillsbury Doughboy and they want to push their finger into his stomach. They don't look at that guy as a bad guy. They want to pass him the menu at Denny's. That's what they want to do to
and
Andy
he wants
Reid.
him to pass him the menu at Denny's.
Chris, they don't hate Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. He hasn't won every game. They lost the Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes has done nothing to anybody, Chris. He's a talented quarterback. They've won a couple Super Bowls, yes. They've gone to the Super Bowl 4 out of 5 years. I understand maybe that. Jealousy, maybe a little jealousy, but hate the Kansas City Chiefs, preposterous, dumb, lazy. Really, that's the narrative going on, that they're the villains. I don't buy that for 1 second, that the Kansas City Chiefs are some villain of the NFL. I don't.
They're not the quote-unquote evil empire, right? Like the Yankees have been.
And now the Dodgers,
they are not
right?
as disliked as the Patriots were. And like you said, there were reasons for the Patriots cheating,
Big time
et cetera.
reasons, Chris.
They're
Big
not
time.
viewed like the Miami Heat were when LeBron and Wade and Bosh first teamed up. But, Rob, I do sense a growing, if not dislike, pulling against the Chiefs. I do feel like there is a growing group of fans throughout the country pulling against the Chiefs. They are not beloved. Obviously, some people love them outside of Kansas City, but they are not just beloved like, say, the Jordan Bulls were. And there were surveys showing the overwhelming majority of people were pulling for Baltimore, just outside of Baltimore and Kansas City, pulling for them to beat the Chiefs. And I think, as you said, Andy Reid, very likable. Patrick Mahomes, very likable. Travis Kelce dating Taylor Swift, likable, all of that. But I think it stems from people just tiring of the winning. Like, if they win it this year, and heck, they've gotten to the Super Bowl at the very least, then if you're other AFC fan bases, you're like, man, when are we going to get to the Super Bowl? This year they were 11-6. They played 500 football for the second half of the season. The offense wasn't close to what it used to be, and they still got to the Super Bowl? I think that's what it is. And yeah, Joe Burrow and the Bengals beat them once. They've been to 4 out of the last 5 Super Bowls. So I agree, it's not a hatred because they're unlikable in any sort of way, but I do feel like people are tiring of them winning it and just feeling like, how in the world are we going to beat them? And it's odd, Rob, because it's very different from, as I mentioned, the Jordan Bulls. They were generally beloved all over the country.
Not in Detroit. That's the only place they were.
Yeah, right.
People
Because
hated them.
the Jordan and Bad Boys
there are
Pistons
people who have never worn
rivalry.
a pair of Jordans or won't buy them in Detroit. Do you know that? Over that. They hated Michael Jordan.
No, I believe that, but they're in the overwhelming minority. And get over it, you jealous souls.
Look at that. But you use the right word. Jealous. And that's what – there's a difference between being jealous and hating the Kansas City Chiefs. If you want to say, Chris, there are some teams or fan bases that are jealous, I'll buy that. But I don't think that anybody hates the Chiefs.
But I think that I agree that they're not dislikable. In fact, I would look at them and think, why can't they be like, if they keep winning, why can't they be like the Jordan Bulls? Mahomes is exciting. He's fun. He's a good guy. He's in the commercials like Michael Jordan used to be. The coach is likable. All of these things going on. But I think, Rob, and I give credit to Nick Wright, my partner on First Things First, for saying this. I thought this was a good point. He said it may have come too soon, too fast. I mean, Mahomes right away, as soon as he started his second year, he was dominant. Threw for 50 touchdowns, over 5,000 yards, won MVP. The next year, they win the Super Bowl. With Jordan, it was, he didn't win it till his 7th year, Rob. And you mentioned Detroit. They kept beating him. And so there was this feeling that he had overcome and he had fought hard and earned his stripes and, crawled his way to the top of the mountain. And so when he got there, you could feel good about it. And I wonder if, to some people at least, it feels like, man, we never saw them struggle for the most part. I mean, they didn't win. Like you said, they haven't won it every year. Excuse me. But they have become dominant in very short order. And I agree, they're not hated, but I do sense
that narrative is
are pulling against them. A lot of people are pulling against them.
Yeah, I think it's a jealousy factor more than anything. Again, I just hate. I just don't see it. I don't feel that. I think there are people who really hate the Patriots, who really feel like, they got stuff. They're cheating. We don't even know the scope of their cheating. Like, we know a little bit, but if we were to pull the curtain back, Chris, it would be really bad, and we'd be like, oh, my God, it was worse than we ever thought. I think there are people who will never give the Patriots their full credit, their full due, because they don't feel like it was above board the entire way. And that says something. They should be celebrated. Really. If this was
the Patriots,
no, right? If the Patriots had done it the right way, Chris,
let's not.
No, but I'm not saying
there are people that dislike them, but they not that all those cheating allegations. Well, not even allegations, just scandals. They did.
Right, they got busted.
That has not stopped most people from saying Brady's the GOAT, or most people from saying Belichick's the GOAT.
Well, I think there are
they
people
still
out
are
there
very celebrated
who are looking at it, and they don't. They probably should be celebrated more, to me. And I just think it's the underlying thing that eventually we'll find out. There'll be some other – I'm just waiting for – I'm waiting for the book, the full scope. Eric Mangini gave us a taste, but there's a book out there that I want to read.
Why don't you write it?
Michael Holley should write it.
Journalist?
He's the one. Michael Holley, he's up there in Boston.
He's written several. He hadn't written that.
Yeah, but those are all
You speculating?
those are all cotton candy books that he wrote.
You
with Bill
speculating?
Belichick. Of course, I'm just speculating. I don't have
Oh,
anything.
okay,
You
I'm
know,
just
that's why I
saying.
said I can't write anything. I'm in L.A.
So you're
I'm
speculating that
soaking
there's
wet.
more out there.
Yeah, that's all.
Okay.
I don't have any.
All right,
I don't
well,
have
let's
anything.
see.